Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
Leader, the Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr. is spending his second day in a hospital for a rare neurological condition.
WGN's Julian Cruz talked with a doctor to learn more about what's happening. Julian?
Well, Ben and Lourdes spokespeople with Jackson's Rainbow Push Coalition telling us the 84-year-old civil rights leader has been managing a neurological condition for more than a decade. You may remember going public with his medical challenges, but 7 days ago, doctors changing their diagnosis.
It's relatively rare.
Dr. Natalie Wittick, an advocate healthcare neurologist, hasn't treated the Reverend Jesse Jackson, but she's familiar with the neurological condition Jackson is dealing with, known as progressive supranuclear palsy, or PSP for short.
It does tend to progress faster than Parkinson's disease. There is not a specific cure for Parkinson's disease or progressive supranuclear palsy.
And the condition gets progressively worse, doctors say. The civil rights icon recently celebrating his 84th birthday. Jackson, 2 years ago, giving up the reins to the civil rights organization he founded, the Rainbow Push Coalition, headquartered.
Wow, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Just want to give you an update, man, on the Reverend Jesse Jackson, man. He's 84 and it's not looking good, man, but he, one of the first guys, the first black guy to run for president, man. Y'all got to keep his family in prayers. And I got a guy here who goes way back, who understands a little bit more than I do when it comes to Jesse, Reverend Jesse. OG PIRU, you there?
I'm right here. Yeah, he got a hell of a legacy. He goes back to with Operation Breadbasket. He was in a coalition with the Black Panther Party and Fred Hampton in particular. He did a lot of work, with Toure in Kumba. His name was, before it was Toure, died in Africa. What was Toure's name? And he had SNCC. So they were dealing with college students back in the late 60s to early 70s. Late 60s, early 70s. He did a lot for groundbreaking and pushing a new form of quiet revolution with college students in the early 60s. He was hand in hand with Martin Luther King, embraced that, and came a long way.
Wow, when I first seen him, he was a young man. When I first started researching him, and I think, and I want to say, he was the first black guy to run for president, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he didn't succeed. Of course, they shafted that all the way down. But I remember, I wanted him to win, but there was a lot of people.
That was just a political ploy. They used him to alternate the voting. So I think at that time, was it George Bush or
was it Reagan? Well, I think it was Ronald Reagan.
It was Ronald Reagan. It started Reaganomics. So for the push that, because Reagan was an American hero, a shero from California that was a movie star, went into the Senate, went into governor, and he was running for president. So the big black movement was moving in the early 80s. So what they did is use Jesse as to swing the vote, but it didn't work like they thought it would work. And Reagan won anyway. But like you say, he was the first black to make that run.
Yeah, he gave it a hell of a shot, man. I mean, he did the best he could with the time that when he came in there, When you think about Jesse Jackson and things that these guys, the things that he was able to accomplish in his lifespan politically, is it something where you felt like he moved the needle, or you felt like the needle didn't move? What did you think about the whole? After King dies, he takes he's a younger man, but he takes the mantle and he goes with it the best he knows how. you know, what did you think about just the movement afterwards?
Well, I see the Black movement as just, you have a lot of leaders, and Jessie started off with good intentions. You know what I'm saying? And there's an old saying, there are a gang of good intentions in the graveyard. So just good intentions don't mean enough. But when these guys start seeing themselves progressing and seeing that Negroes don't want to progress, it kind of dims a light, and then they just go for self. So instead of selling it, they start selling out. And I don't call it selling out. It's attack of survival. If you don't bend, you'll break. So they become political activists and spokesmen for the white agenda. And they try to paint it black and try to make it look like they're doing some things, but they're still puppets for the puppeteer. So
wow.
That takes.
So with this PSP, this disease that's progressing fast, at 84 years old, man, it's just a tough battle, uphill battle. They said it's very aggressive, man, and I hate to hear that because but again though, I mean, a lot of people would have took 84 that didn't make it to be 62. My daddy didn't make it but to 62.
Yeah, but he was a hard-working man. But now with this, at 84, he's already terminated his usefulness to white America. So now he's expendable. So
wait a minute. Explain what you just said.
What I'm saying that everything has an expiration date. So now instead of Jesse Jackson, he's become replaceable. And there's another Negro that he can take his place. So now he's of no value to white America anymore. So he's expendable. So they've been putting stuff in his food and making him degenerate for a long time. He's been.
Are you trying to act like somebody done did something to his food to get him in this condition? He's 84. What are you saying?
You think they wouldn't? You think at 84 is not a long, with the lifestyle he's lived, should he be sick? White people ain't sick, black and white.
We're not going to make this out of black and white thing every time we talk about something. Jesse Jackson is 84 and having health issues, and therefore, because he's getting older. I mean, he's in a wheelchair, and you can tell that he's. I mean, a lot of people wish they could make it to be 84. What? So they putting stuff in his food, trying to make this black and white ordeal. It was black and white when he ran that political race, maybe a little bit, but now him just being old and dying or getting old and getting sick, that's every man's going to go through that.
Okay, all right. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it. So,
what do you mean put it in my pipe and smoke it? I'm just telling you, this guy who put something in his food, you're just reaching.
If you read the report from Muhammad Ali's Parkinson's disease, they done found out that it was little particles of foods being put into his food over 20 years.
Who put something in Muhammad Ali's food and who allowed that to happen?
Google it. The government did.
And why would they do that to him? Because he didn't go in the military? What reason would they have to do that?
Okay.
So, you're going too deep. You're digging too deep. You're going too deep. Now, you look at Jesse Jackson, he's 84 years old. He's suffering from PSP. This is a very aggressive situation he's dealing with. And we want to send our prayers up to his family tonight. We want to make sure that we Jesse Jackson, wait a minute, Jesse Jackson Jr. had something to say. Hold on just a second.
On the south side of Chicago, family members gathered at Northwestern Memorial Hospital where Jackson is being treated, not talking to the press, but earlier today online, son Jesse Jackson Jr. talking publicly about his father.
He's recovering 24 hours later, and I'm proud that he is making that effort. That is, as you know, a hell of a fighter.
Our thanks to Jessie Jackson Jr. for sharing that video clip with us. At Northwestern Memorial Hospital, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
All right, Julian, thank you.
Wow. So you see what's going on. His son steps up, and I like that, man. His son steps up, speaks out, and that Rainbow Coalition, he's handing the keys off to that. And I think it's just an extraordinary thing, man. And like I said, we all get older. We just got to be there for our the elders. When it says he was hospitalized for a rare neurological condition, and I just think that I don't agree with OG. I don't know if they put some in his food to get this situation. He's 84. I don't know, but it could be. It is something that our food is processed. So I give you that, OG. I just don't agree with you on everything, and I can't agree with you.
I really appreciate
there is a processed food, but we all up here in the same condition, eating this old processed food a lot of times.
We're not all in the same.
Well, OG, you're not playing. You don't have no garden.
You don't know what I have.
OG, you ain't got no garden. You ain't never just FaceTime me and be like, look at these potatoes growing, and look at these cucumbers, and look at these no, partially.
Let me say this. We have a whole farm in Michigan that grows food for those who believe.
What you mean believe?
We have what you call that people around. I was going down the street yesterday on Central Avenue, right?
Right.
And as I was going down Central Avenue, I'm coming from Compton, I'm going downtown LA. And I look over to the side on just before you get to El Segundo, they set up a food thing up here. And I start seeing all these cars. Now, let's say El Segundo is like 130th, right?
Right.
As I go all the way down to 120th, 10 blocks is cars. And as I go past 120th, all the way to the 105 freeway, another 10 blocks is cars backed up trying to get free food. These people done panicked because they didn't get their food stuff. They're just looking for something for nothing. Now, if they had you ain't got to be in the Nation of Islam, but if you follow some of the rules we have what you call a survival kit. And every day you build your beans, your greens, your stuff in case everything goes down. You won't be running chasing your tail for somebody else. That these things that you get every day, and you store them up. And you have a kit, you have a medicine kit, you have a generator, you have lights, you have flashlights, you have candles, you have food that's preserved. Those type of simple things that we don't look no farther than our nose on our face. And when it comes a semi-catastrophe that America is challenging to see how vulnerable you'll be. So, yeah, we're ready to be. I'm ready for this. Can go out for 10 days, and I have no problem with it, bro. None at all.
No, and I agree with that. Now, that's the best thing you done said on the whole call. I agree with that. As much as I don't really agree with you on a lot, I think you should have a kit. No, I don't. Only reason I'm good because I'm from the bush. I'm from the stick. I agree with that about the kid, but me being a stick guy, I'm gonna survive. I'm a natural. You could drop me in Africa, and I'd come out with a steak. I'm a real survivor. So I get what you're saying. I could fish my way out. I could hunt my way out. I can start a fire with a stick. I'm that. So I get what you're saying, but everybody not like me. So I'm thinking I'm happy that you guys that you guys have a kit or something for people. Cause over here, my family gonna be all right. I've cooked in the ground. I've figured it out. I've had to figure it out because we didn't have nothing. Most people had something. I just thank God that we grew up not having nothing, so I can always revert. I understand how to survive.
I had something, and I will survive.
Yeah. And ain't no way I'm not gonna make it. There's too many streams and too many ways to do it. But
I'm speaking for you. I'm speaking for the masses.
well, I'm one that's gonna go out and I'm gonna pull them out the fire. You seen me in action down there in Jamaica. You
pick up that 300-pound fat lady.
I should have brought that. I'm just messing with you, OG. But we are definitely looking at ways to survive. And I want to say, going back to Jesse Jackson, man, with this neurological condition, guys, he's 84. Pray for him, guys. We respect the loved ones, the elders, the people who are basically getting up in age. Make sure they good. His son, his family good. He got an infrastructure, somebody that's looking out. I heard this was not the first time he's had to deal with this, but it's just gotten more aggressive. Wanted to give you guys an update on it. Me and OG talked about it last night. We've been seeing it, and I know you guys been waiting on us to speak on it. So there it is, man. We definitely want you guys to know that we sincerely hope he makes it and able to pull through this, man. So do me a favor, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're still watching, OG, what did you talk about earlier? Do you remember? You can't remember one day to the next, can you? OG, are you there?
I can't remember one day to the next day. I challenge that, my brother.
Okay, well then what did we talk about? Because earlier I talked about Boosie because I couldn't get a hold of you. And I was just trying to see where you was at with yours. Talked about Boosie and Boosie getting ready to go back and on the 21st he got to go back before this whole situation. So we had to talk about that earlier. So yeah, man, and hey man, praying for him as well. Boss Talk 101 reviews.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.